Okay. Leah, you have the floor.
Okay, I prepared the order we discussed for the establishing the inmate security fund.
Okay.
The order reads, in the Lincoln County Commission of said county on the blank day of August, which I'm assuming would be the 1st if you're willing to sign it today. Following them on other proceedings were had in the matter of establishing the inmate security fund and directing that $2 be added to court costs in accordance with section 488.5026 RSMO. Whereas the Missouri legislature enacted section 488.5026 RSMO, which authorized such counties as Lincoln to establish an inmate security fund in accordance with and for the purpose set forth therein, a copy of section 488.5026 being attached here too. And it is therefore ordered by the County Commission of Lincoln County that an inmate security fund be and is hereby established in accordance with this section. It is further ordered that $2 be assessed in all criminal court cases in accordance with section 488.5026.1 RSMO and paid by the clerks of the courts to Lincoln County in accordance with this section. It is further ordered that the county treasurer establish a separate fund to be known as the Inmate Security Fund in accordance with section 488.5026.3 RSMO. It is further ordered that a copy of this order be provided to Judge Dan Dildon, Judge Bennett Burkemper, Judge Jim Beck, Grace Sinclair, the Circuit Clerk, Christy Hinkey, Treasurer, Mike Kriegbaum, Sheriff, and Leah Askey, Prosecuting Attorney.
Okay, let's put that on the agenda for Monday, next Monday. We'll.
I thought it was on the agenda for this one. No.
It was just part of your time for today.
Okay.
Well, I mean, put it on the agenda. We'll sign. I want to read it over.
Yeah. Can I just leave it with you?
Yeah.
And then the statute's attached.
Yep, and we'll sign it next Monday.
Okay.
Do you want it as a separate time or part of her?
We'll just put it in there
As
under
part of
her time. Just put adopt inmate security fund.
Where's that money had to be spent?
The money, it's designated in that statute also. In the latter part of the statute, talks about the funds deposited shall be utilized to develop biometric verification systems to ensure that inmates can be properly identified and tracked within our local jail system. And once that has been installed, then the funds in the Inmate Security Fund may be used for the maintenance of that system and to pay for any expenses related to the custody and housing and other expenses for prisoners.
Remember, at the very beginning of the year, Mike came in and talked about the push to do this biometric ID system, and this is to allow us to accumulate money when we have.
What is that, biometric? I don't.
It's a tracking system of the different courts use, the federal courts use a different tracking system that allows them just to track the inmates if they're in there. Once the system is set up, then, you know, I think as far as we're concerned, the best scenario is that it's going to help as far as the housing and the expenses for prisoners, which I know has been a concern. Additionally, the statute provides for allowing certain juvenile cases to assess that fee as well, as long as they fall under subsection 3 of 211-031, and which basically means that it's a juvenile delinquent that has been charged and is housed, you know, at our expense, that the fee can be assessed. The other counties that I've looked at don't have that language in their order, so I didn't put it in ours. I think it'll be a little more difficult for the clerks to ascertain which juveniles are charged under that section. So specifically, you know, we can see, you know, how much money it facilitates over the course of the next few years, just on the inmates in general, but it certainly would only be on criminal cases, just a matter of court cost.
Okay.
I received a breakdown of expenses from Mr. Wallace and have submitted those to Pipeline.
Right.
To attempt to offset, you know, there was some discrepancy as to what the final demand from Mr. Wallace was as opposed to the demand from my office and from our discussions. The way it appears is that not only would we be able to recoup some of that money, but also wouldn't be required to send back the overcharge, or overpaid amount rather,
Right.
from the fire department. So my hope is that we didn't have to release any money, and at the same time could gather some money as well. So
Certainly.
once I got the breakdown from him, was able to articulate it, back them up against one another. So I'll just wait to hear from him. Hopefully I'll have something by next week.
Great.
On the credit card situation, I am hoping that, Deanna, did you find those other receipts? So you only found one of the three that you're missing? You found the one for the T-shirts for the, that safety program that I put on for the schools, but you didn't find the other two?
No.
Janet is out today, but she said she'd located the copies that, we ran copies obviously in my office. But additionally, I was gonna call the credit card company and they can get copies of the receipts from the vendor if those copies aren't sufficient. I don't have the originals anymore because I submitted the
Yeah,
originals.
and you know, the reason that we ask for originals is so we know that they don't somehow, like the original gets submitted to be paid from one fund and then the copy gets turned in and gets paid from another fund.
Correct.
So I guess until we kind of get a policy established, we might be able to work with that and just, as long as
Okay.
we can verify,
Okay.
you know.
But those are the only two things you're missing, those two.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but we were attempting to buy more checks for our restitution fund, that we pay restitution out to victims. You know, the one that's governed through the Missouri Bar, and the IOLTA account is a trust account. We tried to buy checks with it last week and our card was declined. I don't know if that's across the board. And I tried to call, but I don't have authorization to call and see why it's declined. But I don't know if this is the checks and then there was the shipping and handling, and that's the total amount.
If I may, just so you know, do you have an account at People's?
Yeah.
We get free checks there.
Print.
Checks are- Yes.
Printable. Really?
Yes,
Through QuickBooks?
yes.
Huh,
Yeah, free checks. And
fantastic.
I know Betsy didn't take advantage of that either, but I have.
Okay.
You can order 500 at a time every 6
I
months.
haven't, yeah, I
And it's
didn't,
the 3-1 and everything, whatever you want, they can give us for free.
who do I
Chris
contact?
Mosh.
Perfect. So
Just so
disregard,
you
but
know,
the card
it'll
doesn't
save you
work.
some money
Yeah, that's great.
in your budget.
But we need them
And
to.
that card may not work because Jody's having some real issues with what happened last week with the credit cards. And they've canceled 3 of her cards because payments are getting all screwed up, which I'm trying to fix now for Jody. I don't know if it has
Sheriff's
something to do
office?
with it, but yeah, the sheriff's cards are being declined too. So I
Okay,
may want to talk to Jody too and see
Okay.
if,
perfect.
so. Deposit slips and everything are free at People's, just tell, and if they try to charge you, tell them, we don't pay for that, we don't. It's
Okay.
free.
I wonder because that was my issue. I can't pay it out of that specific account because it's a trust account, so I can't take any money out that isn't going to a victim.
Well, and I don't know, because your account's not really under the county's,
Uh-uh.
I don't know if
I bet they
they'll
will.
follow that.
They'll honor it.
You might try it.
If she has any questions, I can have her
Yeah,
call you.
just have her call me.
Okay,
Tell her it's
perfect.
through the
That'd be great.
county.
Wow, that's big money.
I spoke with the sheriff on the union situation. I will send just a 2-line letter because he would like to save his continued relationship with the union.
Right.
But basically, kind of rehashed what we had discussed and what the understanding was. He agreed with that understanding. My suggestion to him was that, depending on what the response is, that now that we have this revised proposed contract, I guess, that the union, that the deputies and that the road officers request the union to come in so that they can take a vote again. Because really, all the union paperwork is allowing them to do is pay dues.
Right.
And so now that if they see that they're not really getting any benefit beyond what the county and what the sheriff's department is already giving them, they may not be so inclined to think it's a great idea to be part of it.
They have a certain amount of legal representation through the Deputy Sheriff's Association too, don't they?
Yes.
Right.
So I mean,
I think that was one of the selling points of the union, was that they would get legal representation, which they already have.
Right. I'm to appear in court for you at 1 o'clock today.
Don't forget.
I won't, it's on my calendar, 1:15 actually. And lastly, on my end, we're reviewing the bank depository statutes and the different criteria that you'd sent over. I put a call in for that attorney that you suggested regarding the languages that Christie was concerned with, and then
I have a name and phone number. Let me give you some background on this. We're our bank depository, so you know where the language came from. Some years back, Christian County had $85,000 embezzled from within their coffers. In response to that, they had their county attorney sit down with members of the banking industry and with their treasurer, and they came up with this document that ours is based upon. They actually require 3 signatures on all their checks. But I have this gentleman's name is John Housley, and he is the county attorney for Greene County, which is first class, Christian, which is second, Douglas and Webster, which is third. But he's been a county attorney for, I think, 18 years. And this is his handiwork, so he may be able to, and I'm sure he will be willing to, kind of let you know what the reasoning behind it is, and how they came up with what they came up with, so we can clear up any uncertainty about that section 4.11. But that basic agreement is what they are using in Greene and Christian County right now, and it has passed an audit, so you can visit with him. And
okay. Is that the guy, is that the name you sent me? If not, I mean, I have.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
I was a little bit concerned about the part of it of allowing the online access. And I don't know if different banks handle the online access differently, but I think and I'm pretty sure with People's Bank right now, that's a little concerning, because I think if you have online access to the account, you have the ability as a singular person to move funds, transfer funds, withdraw online. I mean, I know, if you have 2 signatures required on a check, I'm a little iffy.
Are you talking about section
I'm a little
7, the
iffy on
county
that.
commission and auditor verification of accounts? Is that the section you're talking about?
I don't have
Where it
that.
says, the county commission and county auditor shall have access to the treasurer's accounts for the purpose of verifying account balances.
Does it say online access, or, I was thinking there's
No,
somewhere.
there's a section in here, online banking services, which it's several paragraphs long, but we're looking at that as well.
Yeah, because I did
Yeah,
call
'cause
People's
sometimes,
just
yeah.
to make sure, and like if your account requires 2 signatures, you or the other person can go on individually and transfer money. It only takes one person to have a sign on, which is weird,
Right.
because it's.
But my
you can
understanding is that you can
sign.
only transfer